I think we might as well start since we have a lot of people here anyway. Okay, welcome everyone to the April 10th. I can't believe it's April 10th already, of the Rotary Toronto-Eglinton weekly meeting. Welcome. We have no guests on as of right now, but we have 20 members who have joined us in various places. And it's good to see Stephen's back in town, no longer in the Florida weather. We have some.
And you'll notice I brought beautiful weather with me.
Yes, thank you. We have one birthday that's actually being celebrated today, and that's Maria Den Oudston, who is not on the call, I don't think, but she is celebrating her birthday today. So congratulations on her birthday. And I'm going to now call upon Paul to do our reflection for today.
Yeah. Hi, so I'm on the tail end of a cold, and I spent this past weekend at home binge watching The Golden Girls for 2 days. And, and I was shocked by how well the show has held up for 40 years. So for my reflection, I have 6 life lessons from The Golden Girls that I believe are still relevant today. So lesson number 1, embrace each other's differences. The ladies were opposite in almost every way. Blanche was the confident seductress. Dorothy was smart and sarcastic. Rose optimistic and naive, and Sophia the wisecracking truth teller. But their individual relationships worked because they respected and valued what they each brought to the table. Lesson 2, friendship is one of life's greatest gifts. The theme song, Thank You for Being a Friend, pretty much sums it up. The Golden Girls is one big testament to the power of friendship. When romantic relationships failed and family members passed away, Blanche, Rose, Dorothy, and Sophia always had each other to lean on. Lesson 3, never be afraid to laugh at yourself. It was a sitcom, which meant plenty of opportunities to laugh at Rose's tales of St. Olaf, Blanche's wild sexual escapades, Dorothy's sarcastic and biting put-downs, and Sophia's life lessons that always began with, picture it, Sicily, 1922. But what was always appealing was their willingness to laugh at themselves, and each woman didn't mind taking the other down a peg or two, usually in good fun. Lesson 4, never be afraid to try something new. Each of the women became roommates after living a full life and deciding to try something different. From new jobs to new boyfriends, retirement for them meant realizing long-shelved dreams and taking risks to find new purpose and meaning. Did everything work out perfectly? No, but they always learned something new along the way. Lesson 5, have confidence in yourself. Blanche would certainly take the title of most confident. That woman loved herself, knew her strengths, and played to them. Of course, overconfidence was a weakness of hers as well, but Blanche's ability to be unabashedly proud of herself and her accomplishments is a trait we should all aspire to. And finally, lesson 6, the answer for any problem is cheesecake. If the Golden Girls taught us nothing else, it's that any crisis, big or small, can be solved with an entire cheesecake shared amongst friends in the wee hours of the night.
Very good. Thank you, Paul. That was great. And Lionel, we do have Fakayo on. If I mispronounced that, I apologize. But before we move to that, we're going to do Happy Bucks. I don't think Sandy McKellar is on, Lionel, so someone has to record Happy Bucks for us. So I don't know if I'll leave that to you. Sandy's not on.
Sandy isn't there?
No, so if you could record that for your pod, that'd be great. Okay, do we have any Happy Bucks? I can't see everybody, so if you have any Happy Bucks, please just start talking.
Yeah, Lars here. Paul talked about the Golden Girls, and I would just like to put in money for the Golden Boys from Sweden and actually from my hometown, Team Edin, that won the gold in the World Championships of curling. And I have a funny side story to it because the Golden Boys are here. They actually got beaten yesterday by Canada in the Grand Slam. And my sister and my brother's granddaughter, who is a young, promising curler, and another friend came over, and they left Sweden on Saturday. And Tuva, the granddaughter, had her suitcase at that time. The people came, my friends came on Saturday, and at midnight yesterday, the suitcase, Tuva's suitcase, and Tuva were reunited. The suitcase had enjoyed a couple of days in Paris, so $25.
Very nice. Good story. Anyone else?
I feel
yes,
I should. Sorry.
Go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
Lisa.
I feel like I should put in some happy bucks because I had my surgery to remove my tumor last week, and while I'm still waiting for the pathology results, from comments that were made, I have every reason to believe that there wasn't a whole lot left, that the chemo had done a really good job of removing most of the cancer. And yeah, this surgery went well, and it was a week ago today, and I'm pretty good. A little sore, you know, my armpit's tender, but it's fine. So I feel great. So that's $20 for just feeling wonderful.
You look and sound great, Lisa. Glad to have you back.
Oh, my hair's coming back too.
I see that. I see that. Well, welcome back. Anyone else?
yes, I have $10. My daughter Melanie has been in Chile for the last week or two, and literally just landed as this meeting started here in Toronto after a bit of a turbulent flight back, but had a great time in Chile.
Mm-hmm.
How much was that for, Jim?
That was, I said 10, but I'll make it 20.
Hello.
Hey, Tom.
Okay, I don't know. I'm not getting the yellow box around me. There I go. I have $5 to tell everybody about the Trails Outdoor Challenge, which starts in May. We have a team called Rotary Toronto Eglinton, and there are 5 members of it now. So if you spend a couple of hours outdoors during this time, you can donate money to our RTE team in the Trails program. So already we have over $300 in the program already. So all you got to do, if you need it, I'll publish it, but how to sign in and support the team members who are there. And that's Jackie, Lars, Ray, myself, and somebody else, I forget. But anyway, so I'll get it out. So I have $5 for that.
You can put me down.
Fantastic.
You can put me down for $10. Just glad to be back. And as I say, very nice weather so far this week, although I understand it's going to be heavy rain tomorrow.
And how was your drive, Stephen? Was it good?
The weather was fantastic. Sunday, the drive was terrible. It took me 13 hours to do what is normally a 10.5-hour drive from Sarasota to Rock Hill, South Carolina. But Sunday was a perfect day, and we did it in record time. So we left
Beautiful.
at 7:30 and got home at 8 o'clock.
Nice.
700,
Anyone else?
780 miles in 12 hours.
Wow. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'll do happy bucks. It's Craig here. So I'll do 10 happy bucks for visiting Variety Village on Monday and dropping off the check. And then I'm also planning on going to Covenant House tomorrow afternoon at 2 to drop off a check for them and to get a tour of their facilities. So if anybody wants to come along, the more the merrier. Just let me know and I'll give you all the details and we can go there together and get a whole bunch of people in with the big check.
Fantastic. Anyone else? Okay, I'm going to now pass this over to Lionel, who's on the phone, and he's going to introduce our speaker for today.
Okay, so Ficaio is there, is he, David?
Yes, he is. As far as I know.
Okay, good enough. Okay. Well, I'm pleased to introduce Ficaio Adurju, Fikeo hails from Lagos in Nigeria and is the eldest in a family of 5. While he initially aspired to be an architect, his path led him to pursue a degree in economics with honors at York University. His professional journey commenced at TD Bank as a business analyst, where he swiftly ascended to the role of intake manager. Subsequently, he assumed pivotal positions such as Director of Youth Engagement at the Canadian Association of Urban Financial Professionals and is head of housing at Toronto Youth Cabinet. Presently, Fikeo excels as a project manager at a billion-dollar multinational Fortune 500 tech corporation, all while dedicating his expertise and passion to his role as the executive director of an organization called Project Impacting Lives, a distinguished nonprofit organization. So without elaborating on any more details, I'll let Fikeo come to the mic and tell you more about himself and the 2 organizations that he heads up. His topic will be today, the power of small actions. So welcome to our meeting, Fikeo, and I'll now pass the mic over to you.
Thank you so much, Lionel. And thank you so much, David. I really, really appreciate your warm welcome. First thing I want to say is I am so happy for you, Lisa. And you sound great and you look good as well, right? And I know that you're going to stay in great shape as well. So that's the first thing I want to say. And then I really am here to empower you, talk about my journey, also share how easy it is to make an impact in your community through small actions. So first thing I want to ask everyone is, how many of you want to make an impact in your community? Okay, I'm seeing a lot of hands. Everyone's hand is up. That is amazing, right? But the question I want to ask is, do you remember how the last homeless individual you saw look like? I want you to think about these questions deeply. Do you remember what they wore? Do you remember if they had clothes on? Do you remember if you stopped to smile at them? Do you remember how they look? You see, people facing homelessness in our society today are an invisible population. They're there, but are they really there? You see them, but do you really see them? Do we really see them? Right? And there are various problems and issues around us that we can make an impact in. And it could be from homelessness to food insecurity to climate change and to gender inequality. But I want to tell every single one of you this morning, right, or it's afternoon already, that you can make a change in the world. And I was so happy to hear Craig talking about Covenant House, right? Because I'm starting to see that this group is already making tremendous changes in the community already, right? So you already know that you can make a change in the world, but every single one of you can make a difference in our society. But before we start making a difference in the society, we need to start making a change in ourselves first, right? So before we go on and we say, okay, we're changing the world, we need to start making a change in ourselves first. And how many of us have heard about the famous saying, charity begins at home? Who has heard that? Okay. Everyone has heard that. Amazing. So making a change in the world starts by making a change in your community. Making a change in the world starts by making a change among the people around you. So before you start changing the world, before you start changing your community, you need to start making a change in the world, right? You need to start making a change amongst the people in this Rotary Club. That's where it starts from. And making a change in the world starts small. And that's exactly how Project Impacting Lives was born. I was a 20-year-old student going to York University, right? How many of us know York University here? Okay, fantastic. Yeah, I studied economics there, and I was sleeping on my friend's couch as an international student, and I had nowhere else to go, right? So I would go downtown Toronto, and I would see other people on the streets with no socks, with no gloves, right? And it's really, really cold in Canada. And a lot of them didn't have winter gloves and they didn't have all these products. So I decided to go and do something about it. And I went to Walmart and I went to Dollarama and Freshco and I bought some bananas, tangerines, and warm socks and warm gloves. and I decided distributing them with my friends, right? And we would give out these care packages, and we started with 20, really. We started with 20 of these care packages on the streets. We didn't know what we were doing. We were just out there distributing the care packages because we felt this is the right thing to do, right? Gloves are like $4 in Dollarama, and socks are like $3. Like, why don't we help people that need the support, right? And that's how a movement started. By December of 2020, we became a team of 10, and we had distributed over 100 of these care packages. And we had warm socks, warm gloves. We added Tim Hortons gift cards, and then we added sandwiches as well. By May of 2022, we got funding from the government, and we did 150 of these care packages by May 2022. By December of 2022, we had distributed over 1,500 of these care packages to people facing homelessness all across Toronto. And then last year, which is December of 2023, we had gone on to distribute over 10,000 of these care products. And you see, it started from 20, went to 100, went to 150, went to 1,500, then became 10,000. So we didn't start off by saying, oh, we want to do 10,000 care products. We started off by saying, okay, we just want to help 1 or 2 people on the streets, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is that now we are the largest youth-led care product distributor in Canadian history, right? But we started off with 20 care products. And in 5 years, over time, we went on to 10,000, right? So change starts in small places. It starts by seeing a need and meeting that need. You are making a change when you buy a homeless person a cup of coffee. You're making a change when you give $2 for a bus ride. You're making a change when you get someone warm socks. You're making a difference when you smile at someone genuinely. That allows you to see that you see them. That allows you to see that you care about them. It allows people facing homelessness and just people in general to see that you see them just not as someone on the streets, but you see them as a human being. And that's what a lot of people want. And I'm here to tell you today that you too can start from somewhere. You can start small. And this is the third time I'm saying it, because a lot of people feel like you need to make a big change and you need to help like 100,000 people all at once. No, but that's not true. A lot of times, impacting lives starts one destiny at a time. And today I just want to share with you 5 pillars of impact to start making a difference today. So not tomorrow, not next year, but today. And the first thing is respect. And I don't know if a lot of people knew this, but a simple hi and hello goes a long way. Like just showing people human dignity, even smiling at them. Can everyone smile on the call? People that have their cameras on, just give me a nice smile. Okay, I'm seeing some smiles. I need more smiles on the call. Okay, thank you. Right, and I can remember when I was having a bad day and I was taking the train, right, the subway, and I like looking good, wearing suits and stuff like that. And I was having a bad day and someone just smiled at me. I was like, hey, nice outfit. And that made my day, right? And that really, really put a smile on my face. And that was just like, hey, nice outfit. And the person didn't know me, didn't know my name. We didn't exchange contacts. It was nothing. It was just like on the train, nice outfit. And they went about their day. But they don't know the impact that it made on my day. It really, really made me genuinely happy, right? And that is free. You don't need to spend any money, right, with that. But you can impact lives, right, by actually showing people respect, right? Right? So listen to people when they're talking, right? And listen to people when they're telling you and sharing their experiences and their emotions. That's the second thing, right? And third one, we all know about this one, donating, right? So you could donate money, yes, but there are so many other things that you could donate as well, right? So you could donate your time, right? You could donate your effort. You could donate your furniture. You could donate your books. You could donate your clothing, right? So a lot of people talk about only donating money, but there's so many other things you could donate as well, right? And the fourth thing, which we all know very well, is volunteering. And this one is really, really huge. You could volunteer at so many different places, and you all are already volunteering as well. So I'm really, really happy about that. Now, service is a great way to give back to your community. And the thing that a lot of people don't know is that you get to learn new skills while serving. So there's so many things I have learned from serving in my community, serving people facing homelessness, serving people facing food insecurity. I've learned how to create forms. I've learned different kinds of skills, and I have made lifelong friends while volunteering as well, right? And there are two best friends at Project Impacting Lives currently that met while they started serving at Project Impacting Lives, while they were volunteering. So you could meet someone that you just become really, really good friends while serving together. So who can remember the first pillar of impact that I just mentioned? Okay, who can remember? I can't hear anything.
Respect.
Fantastic. Thank you, David. What was the second one?
Smile?
No, that was part of the first one. Respect.
Oh, sorry.
Is part of smiling. Okay, what was the second one?
I think we missed it because you cut out there. You paused, so I think we missed it. So you spoke to it, but we didn't hear what it was.
Empathy. Can you remember empathy? Yes, empathy. Okay, I didn't even know I cut out. Okay, so what was the third one? Who can remember the third one?
Donating.
Fantastic. Thank you, Craig. Who can remember the fourth one?
Volunteer.
Volunteer. Amazing. Thank you, Ron. Okay, give yourselves a round of applause. Good job. You're paying attention. Now, the fifth one is speaking up for those without voices, and that's advocacy, right? So the fifth one is advocacy. And this means speaking up on behalf of the unheard. It means standing up for people. And there is a story I want to share with you all, right? And that is the story of George, right? And I can remember walking at the, who knows the Art Gallery of Ontario? AGO, downtown. Fantastic. And I was walking outside, and I had been getting like some backlash for distributing care packages, right? Because people were saying, okay, like distributing care packages, you're not really helping people facing homelessness, right? Like you're not putting them in homes. And I was like, okay, but we're doing something about it, right? Like we're lending a helping hand, right? And I was thinking of actually shutting Project Impacting Lives down. I was thinking of stopping the whole thing, right? And it sounds crazy now, right? But at the time, I really, really was. And I saw George on the street, and he was right in front of the AGO. And I said to myself, okay, I am going to ask George that is this thing we're doing. I'll tell George about PIL, all the things we're distributing. If he says it works, if he says we're actually helping out, then we'll continue. But if he says, nah, this isn't doing anything, then we wouldn't, right? And I went up to George, right, asked for his name. We had a lovely chat. At the end of the day, went to get him some, donuts and cup of coffee from Tim Hortons. And at the end of the day, he told me that the care products actually really, really help. And he told me and gave me some more suggestions of how we could even support food banks. And he gave me different areas that we could support in Toronto. And then we went on to support, not just in Toronto, we went on to support in Hamilton, in London, in Ottawa, and in Waterloo. And that's how we went from distributing 150 care packages to 1,500 care packages. So why am I sharing that story, right? When you are distributing care packages, when you're trying to make an impact, some people just wouldn't get it. And a lot of times, those people aren't doing anything about the impact. A lot of times, they're just talking, right? they see someone doing something about it and they're just talking. So I'm sharing that with you to not be discouraged in any form, right? Like if you just actually help someone with a bus ride, right? Giving them $2 for a bus ride. Yes, that is really small, but you're making a big difference in somebody's life. If you just help someone and get them a McDonald's meal, you don't know when the next time they would have a meal, right? Let's say you're walking downtown or you're walking in Eglinton and you see someone that is on the streets and you ask them, okay, like, would you like something from McDonald's? And they tell you, I would like an egg sandwich, and you go get that for them, right? That is making an impact. So I'm sharing that with you so you don't think like I did, that you'd stop the whole thing because some people maybe say, you're not really helping anybody, right? So that's why I'm sharing that story with you. And the thing I want you to know, that I believe every single person here is a change maker. And as you go on with different things that you're doing, some of you are business people, some of you are in real estate, but regardless of whatever career you're in, some of you are probably lawyers and doctors, and who knows, maybe we have YouTubers on this call, but regardless of the career you're in, right? Don't just aspire to make a living, but aspire to make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for him?
Yeah, I'm happy to take any questions if you have any questions for me.
I can't see everybody, so if you want to speak up.
I have a question. Can you tell us a little bit more about your work with COFP?
So with COFP, really what I was doing as the director of youth engagement, we were connecting young Black students with the corporate space. So with CIBC, with RBC, with TD, right, they would have recruiters that would have openings for Black students to get internship opportunities. So I was pretty much the liaison connecting these individuals with the organizations. So that's what I was doing. And we would do events that would bring recruiters and have individuals come on board. So it was different kinds of strategies to engage youth. But the end result was, at the end of the summer, we had 20 Black students that got internship opportunities with different organizations in corporate Canada.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, you mentioned George, and too often people impose what they think people want on them. What have you learned by talking to homeless people and asking them what do they want and what direction do they want to go in?
So what I've learned, the first thing that I've learned that was so amazing is the amount of gratitude that is in them, right? So they still have so much hope and gratitude in them, right? And a lot of times they give me different strategies for how to help them, right? So I can remember talking to someone on the streets actually helped us to put lip balm in our care packages, right? So I don't know, for whatever reason, I just never thought of putting lip balm in our care packages. But when you speak with people, not only down the streets, but there are different homeless organizations, organizations that support people facing homelessness, right? Like Covenant House, right? Like Salvation Army. There are so many organizations like that, right? They work with them on a day-to-day basis. So they give us ideas as well of how to support them. So always talking to them. So every single year, before we go to create these care packages or create ways to support them, we have to ask them, like, would these help you? With these products that we're putting together, would it be beneficial for you?
Wow, amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I've got a question. Are you a Rotarian? If not, why not?
What was the question?
Are you a Rotarian, and do you know, and how do you know Lionel?
I am not a Rotarian right now. How did I know Lionel? Lionel actually reached out to me through my email. So I had spoken at another Rotary Club, right? And then I think Akila, who is a Rotary Club president, I can't remember exactly which one now. And I think she reached out to Lionel, and Lionel emailed me and said, would I like to speak? And I was like, yeah, of course.
Okay, any other questions?
Fakeo, I'd like to ask you go ahead, Norm.
No, I just wanted to ask, is Project Impacting Lives, is that a nonprofit organization? Do you have a charity status?
So
charitable?
We are not a charity right now. We're going to apply to become a charity this year, but we're not for profit. The thing a lot of people don't know is that when we started 5 years ago, it wasn't to become an organization. I was in school. I was just like, okay, like let's just distribute packages on the streets, right? And the more packages we wanted to do, right, the more organizations like TD that have gone on to support us. So TD has supported us with money, RBC has supported us, Global Mail has supported us, and they needed PIL to be registered. So that's why we even registered. And now a lot of organizations are saying, okay, you need to be a registered charity, because now we want to distribute 60,000 of these care products all across Canada now. So we started off with just Toronto. We've gone on to Ontario, and now we want to distribute all across Canada. So Saskatchewan, Winnipeg, Alberta, we want to support people facing homelessness all across Canada. So yeah, now definitely we're going to apply to become the charity.
Is that all on your website? Is that all on your website?
Yes. So
Okay.
our website,
because at the present time, you're doing an incredible job. At the present time, we do hygiene kits for street people, but we do it through Fred Victor and Nellie's, I think it is. So we do it through 2 organizations, but I love what you're doing, and I will look more into it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Norma.
How do you find people in these different cities to work with your organization?
So who asked that question, Ron?
How do you find people in the different cities that you want to expand to help you set the thing up and get it moving in that particular location?
Very, very good question. So right now, we've actually been very fortunate that we post what we do on social media, and a lot of people on social media have reached out to us and have said, we want to start our own chapters of Project Impacting Lives in these locations. So that's how we're going to do it, right? So we're going to have people from Alberta, Saskatchewan, Winnipeg, different areas of Canada. We're going to have them on a call, and we're going to train them and teach them how we've been doing it so far. And then they are going to do it in their own way in these different cities.
It seems to me that you would be a fantastic Rotarian, and I would certainly like to suggest, as I'm sure many of our other people on this call would like to as well, that you consider joining Rotary Toronto Eglinton. Depends where you live and work, but we'd love to have you as a member.
Thank you. Thank you. I would love to talk more about that and just know maybe their requirements or steps to follow. Maybe I'll talk to David or Lionel more about that.
That would be me. As the president, I'm almost also the membership chair. So yes, I'd love to have a chat with you.
Okay, fantastic.
Ron, did you still have a question or?
Yeah, Fakeo, I'd like to ask over the 5 years that you've been doing this and the different geographical areas you've expanded to, if you've noticed any trends or things that have gotten better, things that have gotten worse, or different parts of the country have different needs. Just if you've noticed anything like that.
So one thing that honestly disturbs me right now is that, okay, in homeless shelters, right? Like this city and different cities are doing a lot to help. But what I'm thinking of is what happens when a homeless shelter is full? Where do people go? Like, and what I'm also thinking about that I've noticed is that, okay, we are opportune to be able to go brush our teeth somewhere, go take a shower somewhere. But if you're facing homelessness, like where do you use the washroom? Where do you brush your teeth? Where do you shower? Like where? So that's, and I ask them and I ask people, and I still don't have an answer, right? So I've still been thinking of, okay, how do we provide solutions for this? Like how, because right now, what people probably would do is they have to sleep maybe beside a Good Life Fitness gym, right? And when it opens up, they have to go shower or use the washroom, or they have to sleep beside a McDonald's or Dollarama, right? So these are some of the things that I'm like, okay, how do we start from somewhere and just provide solutions, right? And there's also a misconception, I would say, that almost everybody facing homelessness is on drugs, or and that's not true, right? Because when you actually go on the street and you have conversations with people, you would realize that that's just not the case. Some people have lost their jobs. Some people maybe were kicked out, right, by their family for different reasons. So people are 3 paychecks away from homelessness. If they lose their jobs, then they're out on the streets. They can't pay their rent, right? And then they get lumped into this category of, okay, you're out on the streets and you are on drugs. And some people are not on drugs. They just sleeping in their car because they are going through a hard time in life right now. So then that is a larger issue that I've noticed from having numerous conversations with people. And I'm like, okay, we just have to just tell more stories of just regular everyday people that, like, they're not into any vices. They just are going through a difficult time now. And there have been so many people that are homeless currently, but have gone on to have great careers and great futures, right? So, and I know them. Like, there are people that we were supporting 5 years ago, and they are now in homes, right? So, and I knew that, okay, because you're on the streets doesn't mean you're on drugs, which is what a lot of people think. So these are some of the things that I've noticed.
Thank you.
I just have one question. You call yourself the Prime Minister of Toronto. It's got to be a story there.
So that really is a mindset. And a lot of people think, like, because that doesn't exist, right? But I'm giving people a peek into my mindset, right? Because I believe that it is our duty to support people around us, right? And I just believe that, okay, I'm the Prime Minister of Toronto, and I cannot watch people on the streets and do nothing about it, right? I can't just see, like, people on the streets that are facing homelessness. And it's not just even homelessness, right? I went to York University, and, like, we just gave a scholarship to a student that is currently going to York University. And it wasn't a lot of money, it was $2,000, right? And that's going towards her tuition right now as an international student, right? So it's about supporting people in every way you can. And there's not so much I could do on my own. And it's about like, we've been able to create a movement and to get momentum of not just me, but other young people and other older people as well, right? So there's so many people and different organizations that come in to support what we do. So it's the Prime Minister of Toronto. It really is a mindset of, okay, you are not just living for yourself, you're living to be a blessing to others. And if you're a prime minister, you're serving people all the time, right? Like, you you're not just a prime minister by title. You have to go out and serve so many people. But also, I guess prime ministers get paid, and I choose not to get paid, right? So yeah, like that's one thing we stuck with, that I don't want to turn Project Impacting Lives to a paid thing. I don't want to be paid for this. This is something, like I have a full-time job. I'm a project manager at a tech company, but this is just something that I'm like, okay, like we have to support people, right? Because like, why not? You know, like why wouldn't you support other people? So yeah.
What kind of funding are you talking? I mean, where do you get your funds from? This is, I mean, this costs a lot of money to do what you're doing. So where do you get your funding from?
So we usually partner with a lot of organizations. So people donate money, yes, but what we do is last December, we got over 7,500 bars of soap from Unilever. So as opposed to, and that's probably worth $30,000 or $40,000, right? Because each bar of soap was like $4 or $3. So we go to different organizations and tell them to give us the products. And so that's one model we use. So Unilever and different other organizations, they give us the products. So we now give these products to people out on the streets, and we now give these products to people in homeless shelters as well. So we also work with a lot of homeless shelters. We still donated last year to Covenant House as well. And in December 2022, we donated different products to Covenant House. Now, the second thing we do as well is that we get funding from different organizations, financial organizations. So the Globe and Mail gave us a lot of money last year, right? And then we use that money to purchase the products. We also get TD. They've supported us. They supported us in the beginning. And big shout out to TD because we weren't even registered. We were just like 10 young people, and just 10 people. And I had some of my mentors, right, that just believed in me and were just like, okay. And at that point, when I look back, I was really crazy because we didn't have a website. We didn't have nothing. Like we were just like, yeah, we want to support people. And they believed in us and they gave us the money and we did it. And we also had employees of RBC and they gave us a huge boardroom in their Mississauga office and we put together the care packages together. So we've had quite a lot of support. And I don't believe in doing things alone. It's more fun doing it with people and you build community and you have fun while giving back.
Thank you.
Yes, Walter, you're muted, Walter.
Okay, I'd like to add to that. Yes, the community of people that that you work with are so important. I effectively ran the Out of the Cold program for our club at a local church. And just a reminder, tonight we have our volunteer appreciation night. So there's a little bit of a party for us, a networking event. But we spent 6 months. We went from roughly September right till March now, early April. So 6 months. And now that we've finished, these people have nowhere to go. We did overnights for about 60 people. Last week we served 170 meals, at the church just up the road from us. Unbelievable. So we set records all the way through. But the quality of the volunteers that we have are phenomenal, and they are the best people you want to meet. Everybody has an open heart. Everybody is there rolling up their sleeves. Okay, how can I help? Let me get into it. And that's the spirit I think we want to carry forward. Certainly, Fokeyu, you have that spirit, and you seem to be able to draw that out of other people. So good luck to you, and you're doing fabulous work.
Thank you, Walter. And great work with supporting the volunteers as well.
Any other questions for Mikhail? Ken, I can also reiterate, Walter is true. You are a true Rotarian deep down inside. We can tell we have that same spirit that you have, but you ooze it out of your body, and I can see how you can get people following you very easily. I'm going to call upon Ron Denham now to thank you officially, Mikhail, and then we'll go from there.
Thanks, David. Mikhail, until today, I'd heard of the project impacting lives, but never really understood what the details were. And so I thank you today for coming and explaining what you do. There's a real need here. As Walter has just mentioned, many of our members work on Out of the Cold. In other cases, Rotarians are working with the food bank, for example, packaging food and delivering on a weekend. Other Rotarians are working with the shelters for the battered women. But we continuously need to be reminded about these needs in our society. It's too easy to overlook them. We don't hear about them. And when somebody like you comes forward and explains exactly your personal commitment, what you've done, again, it refreshes our memory and reminds us of the needs that we continuously have to be aware of in our society. So on behalf of the Rotary Club of Toronto, Eglinton, Mikhail, let me thank you for a stimulating, a very interesting and inspiring talk today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ron. It was really a pleasure speaking with you all, honestly. And I'm very impressed by the work you're doing. And I can't wait to have a conversation with David on the future. So the best is yet to come.
Yes, I'll reach out to you in the next day or so.
Sounds
Okay,
good.
we're going to continue with our meeting. You can stay with us if you want to learn about all the other things that we're doing, because we have our community service committee going to be talking about some of the things they're doing right now. But if you have to go because you have work commitments, you're more than welcome to leave us now. But otherwise, you're more than welcome to stay with us for the rest of our meeting.
Yeah, I'll stay and I'll want to listen in.
Perfect. Okay, well, thank you. I have a couple of announcements that I'm going to hand this over to the community service. But so the RLI training I mentioned in my follow-up email last week, but it is on Saturday, April 20th. So if you are interested in being a part of that, I will include all of the registration information for the level 1, 2, and 3. It is an in-person environment, so it's out in Durham. But if you haven't taken it, please consider doing that. Even if you've already taken 1 or 2, you can still take 3 as well. So the information will be in the follow-up email. Secondly, it is that time of year again. I've been doing a little bit of work this week. It is the yearly awards time frame. So we are putting together the awards program for a lot of our newer members. This is our opportunity to recognize non-Rotarians and Rotarians within the club who we feel have gone above and beyond. And so we actually have 2 awards that we hand out. The first one is Service Above Self, and Tom Knott won that last year for his contributions to the club, going above and beyond. And then we also have a Paul Harris Fellow. So if we feel we want to recognize someone within the club who has gone above and beyond as well, the criteria I will send out in a separate email for my follow-up because I don't want to muddle the 2. But we also have the opportunity this year, since last year we actually gave it to a non-Rotarian earlier in the year. We have this opportunity this year that we have not handed it out yet, that we can recognize a non-Rotarian for their service. And typically, it is someone who has presented to the club in the recent past. And I can think of someone who is currently still on the on the call with us today that would be a very good candidate for that Paul Harris Fellow. So look for that separate email from me with the nomination forms. I'm also looking for people to join me on the nomination committee. Currently, it's a 3-year stint, and Tom Knott was on it last year with me, and he and I are both going to be on it again. But we have 2 vacancies because someone has fallen off, and Lois has left the club who was on it last year. So I'm looking for 2 people who would like to be a part of this process. It's not arduous. Stephen, your hand up? Yes? Good. Okay, I'll include you on that list. And Walter, you too? Thank you, both of you. Who want to be part of this process. It will probably be 2 or 3 meetings in the month of April or in the month of May. And we'll discuss all the nominations that come to us. And then we'll decide on who we feel is deserving of these awards. So look for that email. that is it for me. And Josefa is not on the call today. So Walter Wells is going to present the monthly update for the community service group. So off to you, Walter.
Thank you, David. This report certainly is highly appropriate, considering Fikayo's talk to us a few minutes ago. So first, we have home starter kits that we donated to the Fred Victor charity. And Don Smith recently delivered our third home starter kit packages to Fred Victor. And thank you to both Don and Anna for the shopping, organizing, and delivering of these essential kits. A photo of the latest delivery will be circulated to the club. We also contributed to the Good Shepherd, and we want to thank the Rotary Easter Bunnies who organized and delivered to the Good Shepherd on Easter Monday. So what we sent was 133 sandwiches, 48 slices of banana bread, 48 cookies, 2 bags of apples, 2 bags of mandarin oranges, and 4 bunches of bananas. And then our third target was Churches on the Hill Food Bank. And again, thank you to Don Smith and also to Marion Axsmith for delivering a check for $5,000 to the Churches on the Hill Food Bank. And we're hoping to have one of their staff, Ken Burns, come and speak to our club. And Marion pointed out that they really needed this $5,000. Last year, they were feeding around 800 families, and this year they're feeding 1,200. Last year, they supplied canned baby formula at $50 a can for a month's worth to 5 babies. This year, they're feeding formula to 55 babies at the same cost. And he said he would send us the statistics for their food bank in his thank you letter. And a photo will be circulated of this donation as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Walter. And Craig, do you want, I know you spoke to it prior to, do you want to speak anything about the donations to Variety Village and the Covenant House coming up this week, or no?
No, I think I said my piece about them. It's just, if anybody wants to accompany me to Covenant House, if anybody's interested in getting a little bit of tour of Covenant House, there obviously are areas that we cannot visit, but they'll take us for a little general tour. So if anybody wants to get in on that, it is tomorrow at 2, and I can circulate the details. I can email the details to those that are interested.
Thank you, Craig.
Preferably somebody with good handwriting, because you don't want me writing on the big check.
Good to know. Okay. Any other announcements before I move on to Nan? And well, let me do Nan and Environmental Committee. So Nan, do you want to speak to the Earth Day activity?
I would love to. I've got a challenge for you. I sent an email, or Laura sent an email yesterday. I don't know if you all had a chance to read it, but the challenge is to get outside. We could maybe put some of our hours toward the thing planned by our club already to pay money while we're walking. Sorry, I don't like talking to large groups, but here we are. Anyway, the challenge is to come outside, spend a couple of hours together, have a good time, and accomplish something. To be perfectly honest, I volunteered when I was sort of tentatively joining Rotary many years ago. We went to Sunnybrook Park. Ganesia and her husband and Walter Zotka and myself, we simply wandered along the trails. Beautiful sunny day, picking up bits of trash. Walter's remembering, he's nodding his head. And it was amazing how much we were able to gather but having a pleasant outing. Last year was painful. Nobody wants to repeat last year. I understand that. So this year we're going back to what will be more like what we did at Sunnybrook Park. I sent you the information on where we're going to be. But the other thing is, I know that it seems like a menial and an unimportant job, but when the entire world is cleaning it up, it makes a huge difference, and all the Rotary clubs are doing it. I'm hoping we're not going to embarrass ourselves and not be contributing. We only have 5 people contributing so far, and if you don't want to do trash, then I can tell you why you're doing it. If we don't pick it up, I agree people shouldn't have thrown it, but if we don't pick it up, especially the plastic, gets into the streams and the oceans, it disintegrates, the fish eat it, we eat the fish. We have huge places like 1,000 Miles where trash is just floating in the ocean. We want to stop that from happening. And believe it or not, each of us has about the amount of a soap of cake of plastic in our bodies from eating and breathing it in that's been biodegraded, I mean, that's been broken down and we're taking in. So if nothing else, do it for yourself, do it for us to have a lot of fun, and let's do it for the world. And it's 10 o'clock this Sunday, E.T. Seton Park. Glenn, do you want to correct me on anything? If you need directions, the map is there, but I'm happy to help. Anybody can't get there, needs a ride, let me know. We only have 5 brave people: Walter Wells, Norma Davis, thank you to you too, David Richardson, Glenn Frost, and myself. I'd love to see at least 5 more people. I know when I did it the first time, sure, we had 10 or 15 people.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Dan, I think it's next Sunday. It's not this Sunday. It's next Sunday.
Next Sunday. Did I say this? That's why Glenn is supposed to keep me organized. I've told him, watch me.
What's the date?
Yeah.
It's Sunday the 21st, 10 a.m. to noon. I thought originally it was to 1, but it's to noon. They then have snacks and drinks apparently, but I'm suggesting that there probably isn't going to be much there. I don't know, but we could all get together, just go up Laird Avenue, have a lovely pub lunch or something afterwards to celebrate. So call me, we'll get it all organized, where we're meeting. And if anybody needs a ride again, please call. We'll get this going. We'll have a good time.
Good.
That's it for me.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nan. And then I'd let you know that I still have the pickers that we had when we did Sunnybrook Park in my basement. So I will bring those as well with me when I come.
Good. Thank you, because they're providing the bags. Oh, by the way, sorry, do wear sunscreen, gloves, appropriate shoes. And if we can wear our Rotary t-shirts, that would be a good idea. Other than that, they're supplying bags and things. We don't need to worry about things. But thank you, David. That's great.
Okay. Walter, do you need to say any more about Out of the Cold? I know I was going to come to you with that, but you kind of said it earlier. But is there anything more you want to speak to?
Okay. Again, this is our final goodbye party, and it's a celebration of all the volunteers. And certainly there'll be time to talk and brainstorm in terms of how we can improve things going forward in the next couple of years. I guess I've been involved in this for well over 10 years. And it brings you joy in terms of being able to participate, and you're adding a little bit of brightness to everybody's life. The last little while I was on registration desk there, and you're greeting people. You're saying, "Hey, welcome, good to see you back. Blah blah. How's things going?" And for people that are kind of down and out, not really connecting with very many people, all of a sudden they're part of a community and they're valued. So the win-win is phenomenal. And again, the quality of volunteers. I was coaching my niece and nephew there in terms of, okay, where do you meet an appropriate mate? Well, you meet them at a volunteer event, because at that point you're finding people that are open-minded, that are, willing to work with other people, and your chances of meeting somebody worthwhile are huge. Anyway, sorry. That's all.
That's great. No, that's perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Walter. Before we finish up, so next Tuesday is our monthly board meeting. So for the April board meeting is next Tuesday at 7 p.m. via Zoom. So if there's anyone from the membership who wants to join us, please reach out to me and I'll include you on my Zoom link when I send it out to the board members. Other than that, next week we are in person at the Toronto Lawn, and we have, I think it's still true, right? Jackie Hannah Schwartz is going to be speaking to us from Northern Secondary School. Anything else you want to speak to that on?
No, no. I was gonna suggest that we bring back our practice of having a table of students at our in-person meetings. They seem to add, an element of interest, and maybe that's something that we could think about going forward.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, it come to a suggestion when I was speaking with Lars last week after our meeting that no one wanted to sit at our head table, and I'm thinking about bringing that to the board about removing our head table from our meeting and having another table that we can bring special guests to potentially each week. So that may be something we talk to at the board meeting next week. But that's a great idea. Bringing maybe some invited guests and students would be just those type of people to bring.
We used to rotate through the 4 schools in the area, much like the National Club does this. They invite a group of young people, and it's easy to do. Just contact a teacher and have them bring 6 people or however many we feel we can support. It's a way of getting the name of Rotary out in the community, because they'll tell their parents where they're going for lunch.
Yeah, no, totally. It's a great idea. Okay, is there anything else from anyone before we close out the meeting? Speak, because I can't see everyone. So any other upcoming meetings that people want to speak to quickly? Nope, everybody's very quiet. Okay, with that, it is 1:13. I'd like to close the meeting for the week, and we'll see everybody in person on next week for our Toronto Law meeting on the 17th. So thanks very much, and have a great week.
Right. Bye-bye.